YouTube? Welcome back. I got a forbidden playstyle for you today, and today we're gonna be talking about Forbidden Divine. I like the name, not gonna lie. And this is mostly going to be used against, I'd say, more durable type of champions. If they have like one, two tanks, three, this is gonna be really good. All right. The type of skin I like to use when playing these is literally on your screen, God King, because it just makes you feel like that beefy tough. But other than that, let's dive into the rune page and see what's up. Okay, so we got Conqueror with some resolve. I made an argument about Conqueror versus Lethal Tempo, and in a 1v1, I still think Lethal Tempo beats Conqueror because the extra damage coming for the auto attacks. However, there is another thing that you need to take into account, and that is sometimes you don't actually get all those auto attacks from Lethal Tempo off, and that's where Conqueror would actually, kind of pull through, whereas Lethal would not. And in this scenario, especially with trading for long periods of time, I'd see Conqueror as being quite fine. Besides, you can't really go wrong with Conqueror. It is intended for Darius anyway. But hey, you know what? Conqueror Lethal, you can pick whichever fits you. Triumph, very obvious. You're Darius, so I don't even want to explain this. Tenacity. If you can be stopped by any spell, then you're done. So this is bro, these things shouldn't even be explained. Lost Stand, you only start doing damage when your HP gets lower. Like by the time you reach the enemy or the time you actually start doing damage, you're already a half HP. Okay, that's how it works. But you should already know this, right? As for resolve, I got unflinching and whatever you want to choose here. See, unflinching is important because you need to. It's very important to have high amounts of tenacity so that they cannot keep you down. That's one of the most important things on Darius, to make sure that they can't keep you down. And unflinching paired with tenacity makes sure that it doesn't matter if it's a Teemo blind, Nocturne Fear, anything. It needs to be lowered down. Now, as for the second option, you can choose between second wind and bone plating. Uh, for, I'm sorry, but these things are self-explanatory. I don't see why I should be going in depth with them, but I'll just make it quick. Second wind if you're facing poke, and the bone plating if you can actually utilize it against someone you can hard engage with. And for example, Riven, she if she ever reaches, she's not gonna poke you, right? If she ever reaches you, bone plating is the one because when she reaches you, you can pull her and then start an all in just like that, and then you should be basically winning right there. Attack speed for sure. It's the best thing in the entire tree. Uh, Adaptive force because you're supposed to do damage, and magic is their armor, whichever one you want. Not HP because you're not scaling. You don't have the time to do that. Anyways, that's the uh, rune page complete. Now let's go to the build. All right, so we have the build right here. I say, in terms of the starting items, I've tried both, and although it can be said that it's preference based, listen, I think Doran's Shield does a lot more than Doran's Blade. The only way Doran's Blade beats Doran's Shield is if you're constantly auto attacking minions and you already killed your lane and you're hitting the tower. But for the most part, sometimes these things just do not happen, and you're better off having a Doran's Shield. Doran's Shield, I think, is the best option in terms of starting items most of the time, anyway. As for the actual build, we got Tabis for obvious reasons. Uh, First item that you want. The thing is, ideally, it was supposed to be Cleaver first, but Divine, when you complete it, you get that sheen passive, and when you get that sheen passive, you can like clear faster. You can take out minions from higher HP with your W and get the mana refund. There's just, and you can also take camps faster because you're using the sheen passive. As of where it's just cleaver, you only have 580. So what I'm trying to say is divine. If you take divine first, you're basically, you have an item that speeds things up in terms of clearing and just efficiency, I'd say. But ideally, it was supposed to be cleaver because when you're fighting champions, making sure that their armor is lower is really good. But that can be, you can delay that for later. Force of nature is second. I mean, it does depend, right? Because what I do is I get winged moonplate, so I get this. I get this usually first, I'd say, or even second, depending on who I'm facing, whether it's AP or AD. And then I decide what am I facing. Am I facing too many AD or AP? Because if I'm facing mostly AD, I don't finish winged moonplate into force of nature. I actually pause on winged moonplate. So I have Tabi's divine, and then I have winged moonplate. I paused on that, and I finish Death's Dance. Right, that's what I do, and that's kind of good. Now, if you're facing the AP, you actually have another option. You could finish Force of Nature, but sometimes I find as if you're going into one AD item and then into a tank item. Yeah, nah. So what you can do is you get divine, and you go and you stop on winged moonplate again, and you go into maw. Whether you want to finish hex drink, whether you want to just complete hex drinker or complete the entire maw, I'd say is up to you. But making sure you have that hex drinker is kind of important because it's still AD that you're looking for. And then it comes down, but the core items are still always going to be the same. These are your 4 items. Then it comes down to your lost items. Now, if they don't have that many tanks, you don't even actually have to finish Cleaver. But I think Cleaver is always going to be helpful, especially when it comes to getting rid of people who have armor in Zonyas, Tabis, Death Dance. People will always be building some kind of armor. So this is always 90% of the time. This is always going to be the chosen one, right? But let's say they're not. Let's say they're not. Although they should be, because if you're doing this build, it's because there's beefy champs. Then you can go Spirit Shojin. But I think this is, in this scenario, I don't think you're ever gonna use it. But yeah, this is the build. This is the playstyle, and it is literally what I did last video. So there you go. That's my explanation. That's my thought process behind it, and it's really good against the beefy champions because not only do you have percentage health damage, but you also have armor penetration as well. There's a tiny bit of armor penetration in its mythic passive. As for your armor, you have Tabis and Death's Dance to cover that armor side. You also have magic resist coming from Maw and Force of Nature. As for your movement speed, I know you're basically only relying on Force of Nature, but everything else is just really important. And if you're really reaching, then that movement speed from Carve or Rage coming from Cleaver. I know I'm reaching, but there's that, and you got Boots and Ghosts. So, I mean, try to use whatever you can. But this is what I do, and hope you have fun taking a spin at it. Anyways, with that build said and done, thank you for watching the video. Do the YouTube usuals, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video, and watch more videos. Anyways, that's it from me. All my links are down in the description below. Be sure to check out my Twitch, because I should be streaming more often and stuff like that. As for my YouTube, next video as well. And bro, just getting ready for the entire year. Alright, have a nice day, and peace late.
Nothing but